Hi all, this is just an extra lesson that I want to put on for the or an extra tutorial for the toothbrush project. So what I want to show you quickly is how to make a toothbrush using SketchUp, and then you can actually make a sort of an ergonomic handle for that toothbrush as well, which can fit over the toothbrush itself as a sleeve. I've already done this just as a practice. I always try and do that. I hope you've watched some of my introductory videos on how to use SketchUp. If not, hopefully this all makes sense. Firstly, I would definitely advise you to watch the video on how to get onto SketchUp. So I'm just going to straight away get into it. This menu on the left side is all the shape tools. This over here is like things like textures and scenes. You won't really be using the one on the right side, you'll be mainly using the one on the left side. So I'm going to start off, and I'm just going to say this isn't like normal drawing. What this is more like is sculpting. So the first thing you need to do is you need to create a shape, and then you're going to, out of that shape, you're going to extrude or push-pull a form. To get the perfect dimensions on that, you start drawing the shape, and then you actually enter in your dimensions, and I hope you can see that's 15 by 15, and this is millimeters because I've chosen the template that uses millimeters. I'm going to push-pull this up 190. Now you're wondering where I've got these millimeter measurements from. It's from the toothbrush that I'm looking at. It's right next to me. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is use a pencil tool, and this isn't a drawing tool, it's more for kind of creating relationships on things like a face. So let me just actually undo that last one. I'll redo this. Now the great thing about SketchUp, it will always find the center of things for you. So, and I'm just zooming in and out using the rollerball. Just a quick couple of tips on movement. You hold the rollerball down on your mouse, and you do need a mouse for this. And then you can orbit, and if you actually hold shift and hold the rollerball down, you can do something called panning. So this is what I like to do. I kind of like to pan and then orbit, and that also I can zoom in and out. And this is especially handy if you're doing tall shapes. This is actually a very small shape because I'm doing the measurements correctly. So I have that. I'm going to have it again. So I'm going to quarter this, and you're going to see why I'm doing this in a moment. Because I'm going to be drawing arcs on it, and I'm going to be using push-pull, and that's how I kind of made it so big in the first place. So I'm going to go up, let me see, I'll just go up, let's see, 50. And I'm just going to look for that. That's where I created my 50. I'm going to go up again 50 just to keep it nice and symmetrical. I could use my actual, I should really be using my own toothbrush measurements for this, but I just want to do it at speed. I'm going to do 20. This is kind of, I'm using the other one really as a guide, to be honest. And then I'm going to go up using that shift and rollerball action and do another 50. So I'm just going to search, where did my 50 go? I'm drawing a line on top of a line. There you go. Okay, how's that looking? It's going to be a very small toothbrush head. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cheekily put this up another 10. There we go. So it's going to be slightly taller than my other toothbrush, but we kind of have a symmetry then on this. Oh, how did that happen? You don't want to have those, so I'm just going to select those and get rid of them. And you need to sometimes zoom in and just using the rubber tool. You don't want to have any untidy lines. So it's kind of looking like a building almost, but you'll see the reason why I've done this in a moment, and I'm going to be erasing all of these lines. I'm going to go to the arc tool. I'm going to choose 2-point arc, and I'm going to add an arc, 1, 2 points, and then center. 1, 2 points, and then center. Now if you look closely at the one I've already drawn, I didn't do this properly, and as a result I didn't have a nice symmetry. And look at that, it's already looking quite symmetrical, isn't it? It's looking quite pretty. What I want to do also is just draw around this block, because I'm going to be adding textures and colors. Okay, just give it a minute. It is a web-based app. You don't have to download anything to your computer, so sometimes it slows down due to your internet connection. So it will just sometimes freeze for just a moment. And the more stuff you have on the page, the more kind of the slower things get. Obviously, I think then again, working on your processor speed, your internet connection, all of those things. As time goes on, we're going to see more and more cloud-based apps rather than downloading programs to our computers. Okay, I'm going to use the push-pull tool and get rid of this. Now, how did I do that so neatly? I'll show you how. If I do that, I can go too far off. But if you see this, there's this sort of like this red dot that comes up which says you are push-pulling this, or you are pushing that material away to the edge. Same thing here. Same thing here. And that's starting to look a bit more like a toothbrush. So what I also want to do is go back to my 2-point arc. Just using that shift and roller ball all the time, it's great. And if anything starts to kind of go in the wrong place, just press the escape button to stop using that tool. Now I could measure this. I'm not going to. I'm just going to do it by eye on that face, just to give it a nice little fillet. In fact, I think I might have to. It's probably better to do that anyway. So I'll say around here. Great. Okay, and I'm going to do 2-point arc. Okay. Sort of disappearing. Let's undo that. Let's redo that line. I was happy with that line. Little curve. Let's see. That's fine. You have to zoom in on these things. Okay, great. And zoom out. Okay, so I'm just use that shift button again. And I'm just going to push pull this away, because the last thing we want with our toothbrush is we don't want any rough edges if we can avoid them. Some things we just can't avoid because it's just the way the model is constructed. Now, to get rid of lines really quickly and easily, go to where they cross, like where there's a cross section, where they cross over, and just do it sort of like this, and you will save yourself time, trust me. I'm actually going to leave those middle lines in. That's what I should be doing. That's the reason why I think it's a bit lower, isn't it? Okay, that's fine. So using that shift button all the time. Okay, and what I'm going to do is draw that line back in, because this is where I've got my rubberized grip. Okay, that's starting to look good. I'm going to find my center point and just go down 40. Okay, and I'm just going to go across from here again. You can draw I call these construction lines. You can draw these at any point in time, and you can just rub them out as you wish. Now I'm going to show you something really cool here, which is called the offset, which is when you draw any shape, it sort of creates a frame for you. And I'm going to say it's a 4mm. Well, no, actually, I think 2 looked really good. Should we do? We'll go in the middle. We'll go for 3, and that gives a 3mm border around it. And I'm going to just push pull this out as well. Out it comes. And what is that? That's 12. Make it 10. Okay. All right. Now, what I've done on the other one is I've just sort of divided it up, finding the center line, drawn around the block. Hang on, that's not drawing around. It's sort of, it's all about like which way you're looking at it. So get good with those tools, and they will benefit you 1,000-fold in this. You know, I can go and I could make as many bristles as I want in as many different colors. Okay, but I just want to sort of keep this relatively quick. And you can pause this, you can rewind this, you know, your own time. I'm just going to do one side. Okay, I'm happy with that. The last thing we need to do is make this look realistic with some colors and textures. I go to the paint bucket tool, and this brings up this menu, which is usually sort of like here on the home. I'm going to go to the search, and I'm going to get up first of all, not wood, synthetic surfaces, and the one I used before was this bluish one, which kind of looks a bit like, I don't know, sort of some sort of a rubbery sort of surface. So That works very well. I can go all the way around. And then I'm just going to use colours. Colours. Let's do this one in green. Maybe that doesn't go so well with the actual colour. It's all about finding the right colour, isn't it? The grey is not too bad actually. Let's try dark grey. No, it's usually the thing about toothbrushes is they're quite pale. I'm gonna actually give this one. Well, that is the white already. How about yellow? And you have to find good colour combinations, otherwise it just doesn't seem real. So how about that one? I'll use the light blue again. And you know, fresh colours work good. Because that's what you associate with the product, isn't it? You associate freshness. Get rid of that line there. You can't get rid of this line. Watch what happens. Creates a hole in it. That's a join on a curve. So you have to allow certain sort of lines in the symmetry of this. And I'm just going to use blue for the stripes. Same blue. Okay. And that is how you create a toothbrush on SketchUp. Have fun. Thanks for watching.